Do you see this thing with this these guys in America? Oh no, it's Australians who came up with this honey on tap.
Yes, that's ridiculous.
You know,
I'm a beekeeper by
yeah, so am I. Yeah. Well, until I became allergic to it, I just took one hit too many. But the thing is, you know, I had a look at this thing, and the head.
And not cheap either.
The head, well, regardless, the head immediately said, you know, wow, you know, having been stung as many times as I have, I'm not a very good beekeeper. And but the stomach just churned, and I couldn't figure out why, you know. And then I sort of really gave it some thought, and I had this argument with folk, where they just said this is the most amazing thing. And then went on social media, and they tried to raise like $70,000, and I think in 35 seconds they got it or something like that.
It went into millions.
Yeah, it ended up, which to me is terrifying.
Terrifying. I mean, because you wanted $75,000, I think, if you remember.
Yeah. In a couple of seconds they got it. Yeah.
And then it was millions just poured in.
Now, I looked at this thing and I thought, now, so imagine these bees who you know, I mean, the bee lives for 24 days.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. A little bit longer sometimes.
Well, the worker bee. And it
bee.
produces between a quarter and a twelfth of a teaspoon of honey in that time.
Yeah.
All right. And so it goes out there, it does all this, and it comes and it fills up these, and then it plugs it closed, and the next day it comes along and it's empty again.
Yes, someone has...
You know, and so it's like...
But you know what is really bad news is they're emptying the honey right in the brood chamber.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, that is another... no, it wasn't.
No, it was in the brood chamber, right at the bottom.
Regardless, all right. I mean, that's completely ridiculous.
So the nurse bees go along and they've got food one day, and the next day they go and look to the south side, and there's no food to feed the little ones, the larvae.
Well, now the way I was looking at this, I thought, hold on, so this bee's a colony. Now, if I arrive there with my suit and my smokers and all those sort of things, and they can identify with the enemy, and they are prepared to put their life on the line, and so they'll come in and they'll hit me, and they'll let off sort of pheromones or whatever, and another 20 or 30 will come after me, and I'll be running through the bush and I'm out of there, okay? And they lost their life for that, but they understand that as part of their colony.
Yes.
Now, imagine the psychology behind this hive, that every day it wakes up and, you know, goes in to give the old bubba something, and the pantry's empty. Yeah. Eventually, I think that collapse.
We're out of here.
They're just going to collapse, because suddenly there's no visible enemy. There's no enemy that they can work out and say, oh, hold on a second.
Who's this bugger?
You know.
Where is he?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, you go out and you're a slave and you work, or you're in a factory and you do that all day, and you come back and you get a paycheck, and you go and you go to the shops and you buy some gloop and you put it in your pantry. And then every morning you wake up to go and get some gloop to give to these kids that you really love, and there's nothing there. You know, and eventually you're going to end up, you know, and you can't figure this one out.
Goodbye.
You know, I think you're just going to, you know, become a basket case. And so you know, so we're just adding to the collapse of these things. You know, the other effect, of course, you've got this little kid who sits there with her slice of bread, you know, and says, look how easy this is. Now, imagine that kid is, the bees are going to kill that kid within 3 seconds. They're going to take that kid out, you know, and they sort of, this is all, and people saying, wow, this is fantastic.
But yet
you know?
the misconcept or the misunderstanding of what happens in a beehive, which has been around for 3,000 years that we know of at least, hasn't actually permeated into the population to such a degree that they then funded this thing.
Yeah, that's the terrifying thing.
That's the terrifying part.